it's Betsy, and today is going to be our first time testing out the Wahala 2 palette by Juvia's Place. So when you open her up, she looks like this. It is absolutely stunning. The artwork is a 10 out of 10, so gorgeous. So I ordered this on release day, which I think was on the 28th, and I received it on the 30th of October. So Juvia's Place was on the ball with getting this palette to me. And as I said, look at that artwork. So stunning. And if you're not familiar with who Juvia's Place is, they are a Black-owned beauty brand, and they make some of the best eyeshadows out there. So this puppy retails for $38. I used Angelica Nequist's code, which is Angelica, to save 10% off of it, but I paid for this myself. Now, I typically don't go for blue leaning eyeshadow palettes because blue is not always the best color on my skin tone, but I saw this and was like, I need this in my life because these silvers were like, in whites were like, oh yes. So this is the Wahala 2. Let's compare it to the Wahala 1. My daughter ordered the Wahala 1 because last year it sold out so quick. So this is the Wahala 1. Very, very pretty. So the Wahala 1 is 20 shades with one row of blues, whereas the Wahala 2 is 30 shades with 3 of them being more blue tone, because we have these 2 rows of true blues and one that is more teal. So I'm gonna film with this today for sure and tomorrow as well, so we can test this out, because with there being 30 shades, it's a lot. Now I do know that I think there are at least 3 press glitters in here. So we're gonna start by swatching it, because this is a monster of a palette, so this is gonna take some time. So we've got the shade Fame. Oh, that's pretty. That's like a white with yellow in it. Greed. Shakira, which is more of like a true pearly white. Ambition, which is almost identical to Greed. Okay, so we're gonna start with Fame. Might need to apply a little bit more of that. I tend to have some issues with whites wanting to show up on my skin. Greed. Shakira. Ambitious. So the first 3 shades, or the second 3 shades, so Greed, Shakira, and Ambitious, I'm not sure if we needed all of those. They're still pretty though. And then we have a pressed glitter, which is Gobi. And I'm not sure if you can see it on camera. Let's see if it'll focus. It is a very unique texture, but it is like a full coverage glitter. So that is Gobi. That's gorgeous. That's like, I want that on my eyeballs. Okay, then we have Nawa O, which is, oh, that's more purple. Okay, so if you look at Nawa O, which is this shade right here, it looks very blue in the pan. But when it's on your finger, it is definitely more like purple leaning. Wicked, which is a true cornflower blue. Amiibo, which is, oh, that's another purple. And then Fury. Okay, so this row, these 2 and these 2 look almost identical. Like, you see what I'm saying? They're almost matching. So Nawa O, and I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Amiibo by it. Okay, so when you see them next to each other, they are a little bit different. And then I want to swatch Wicked next to Fury. That's Wicked, and that's Fury. Okay, so Wicked is definitely more cornflower blue leaning. Fury, I think, is supposed to be a little, it has a little bit more like grayish blue undertone to it. I'm not sure if it's my favorite shade, but that's okay. So next up we've got Rage, which is like a dusty lavender blue kind of shade. Dream, which is a true royal. Goals, which is a teal pressed glitter with a lot of blue in it. It's almost that cerulean blue. And Dope, which looks like this. So we've got Rage, Dream, Goals. That one didn't swatch as good as the green one. And Dope. Or no, yeah, Dope. So Dope is definitely not my favorite. Let me grab a makeup wipe so I can wipe these away, because my arms apparently are not long enough for a whole lot of swatches. So I'm sorry about that, but you know, it is what it is. At least you're getting an idea of the color. I sparkle. It's Halloween day, so sparkle isn't bad. Okay, next up is Bold. That's Bold. Let me go ahead and swatch Dope again next to that, because those are very close. And then that's Money. That is gorgeous. Money is everything. And then we have Igba Me. So this is Bold. That's Money. Okay, so they do look different on the skin. Or no, that's Bold and Dope. And here's Money. Oh, Money is everything. You see that teal? But it has like, okay, so you look at it there, it is very teal. These are great metallics. And then if you look at it, yeah, well, no, it does look teal there. In person, it leans, it has a lot of blue shift to it. It's like that, it reminds me of a mermaid scale, if you honestly want to know. Oh, I wiped off Igmaba. I have no, I'm probably butchering that. So that's Igmaba. That is a beautiful shade. Venom. Oh, love that. Lust. Love that too. Hater. Okay, so Igmaba Me. That's beautiful. Venom, Lust, that didn't swatch that great, but sometimes theirs do not. And then Hater. So Hater and Venom are pretty close. So there are some shades in here that definitely, you don't need all of them. Then we have Jealous. That's pretty. I love a good teal. Wasted, which is a good neon orange. 419 pressed orange glitter. And Lit, which is a warm neutral. So we have Jealous, Wasted, 419, and Lit. So Lit definitely swatched poorly, but again, swatches are not the end all be all. Let's wipe that away because Mama needs more room. Jiminy Cricket. That glitter wants to stay, and that's without a glitter glue. So that's a good thing. I love when you get a, trying to dry my leg off, or my arm off on my leg, but I love when you get a good glitter that stays. Okay, next up is Period. That's pretty. ASAP. Good burgundy brown. Fake. Now this is a color that I am most, look at that fake shade. If you're looking for a dupe for that multi-chrome from Pat McGrath, I think Fake would be it. Hold on, we're gonna swatch that. So we've got Period, ASAP Fake. That shade, Fake, is everything. I think this is the palette that has it. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna swatch that next to it. I can already tell you that I like the way Fake feels versus the Pat McGrath. Okay, so yeah, they're very, very close. The Pat McGrath has more pink undertone, whereas Fake has a little bit more purple, but they're close. So, I love that shade. Fake will be on my eyeballs. Okay, so then we have Too Much, which is like a good hot pink. I'm gonna try to get some more on my finger. Colo, beautiful purple glitter. Gab and Oya. Oya is a beautiful color too. Okay, so we have Too Much, Colo, Yab, Oya. Oh, I like Oya. It's almost like a black burgundy. The shades in here are really unique. Like, very different. I can foresee this becoming a favorite palette. Maybe not for all the blues, but for everything else. Okay, so I think today I was going to do a blue look, but I don't think so. I want to use the shade Fake. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna prime our eyes. This is the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas in the shade Fair. I'm gonna put just a hair of that on my brush and spread that over my eyes. There we go. My goodness. But yeah, I love multi-chromes like nobody's business. I love multi-chromes, and like the Cleona Cosmetics ones, they're great. Why are you looking funky on my eye today? Whew. We're gonna blend that out with the sponge because, girls, she's looking tragic. That needs to be cleaned. That's part of the problem. Let's actually go ahead and grab the It Cosmetics. This is the concealer brush, and see if we can blend it out with that, because my foundation brush isn't clean in the least little bit, or my foundation sponge isn't clean. Typically what I do is when I go off camera, I take and put on my mascara on my top lashes so it can dry, and then go and put on my primer, and I go wash my sponge so that way when I get back I can put my lashes on so my mascara has a chance to dry. So, okay, so we got the e.l.f. eye tapes. We're gonna use those like normal. I think I want to keep this more of a neutral look today, just because, well, not super neutral, but yeah, I know what I want to do. Okay, so let's dust off. This is a BK Beauty 201. We're gonna go into the shade Yab right here, which is more of that pinky tone nude. Perfect, that's pretty. Because, yeah, this is what I want to do today. We'll do a blue look tomorrow. But this is everything. I love that more brands are going into the multi-chromes too, because multi-chrome pigments can be very expensive to work with. So one thing I'll tell you is the So if y'all saw whenever I put the Yab on my arm, it really didn't swatch that great, but it is applying well to my eyelid. Very, very nice. Very nice. Okay, I'm gonna dust that off a little bit more. How's that feel slimy? And I'm gonna go into the lit shade, which is more of that neutrally kind of shade. And I'm using that just over the edges. Just to kind of make, yeah. Make sure everything's kind of sat down. I have glitter everywhere. That's the problem with pressed glitters. Which I think that, again, that's all up to personal preference. So I'm gonna go into the shade Too Much now, which is that hot pink. See how well that picked up on the brush? And we're gonna use that to really brighten up the crease. That's a pretty pink. And no weird patchiness. We love a good pink moment. Pink is one of, well, okay. So pink is my favorite color. Shocking, I know. But for my eyes, it's not always my favorite to use. I tend to stick to greens, purples a lot more, but man, this is pretty. And as you can see, I'm just kind of building it up because I want it to be very bright. I think it needs something like that to kind of stand out next to the fake shade. And I'll tell you, that shade doesn't even look real. So I'm gonna grab, this is a BK Beauty 203. We're gonna go into this shade ASAP, which is that brownie kind of maroon, because we need a little bit more depth in this look, which is definitely something I like to do. There we go. That's so pretty. And it's blending well, like as you can see with the pink, it's making it pull more maroon. I think that's a brown, the shade of brown that this is a color that will kind of lean whichever way you're working with your eye look, if that makes sense. Okay, so then I'm gonna go back into the 201 and just go over the edges of everything. Okay. Gonna take, this is the Color Pop, what brush is this? This is the E4. We're gonna grab some glitter glue because I feel like I need to use something to kind of help, well, I don't think it needs anything to help stick. I just always use glitter glue with this shimmer. To me, it makes it pop more. It is my personal preference, but you know, everybody's allowed to have their own. Some people like to wet them. I like to glue them down because I think that works the best for me. Okay, so it is picking up nicely on the brush. Oh yeah. Very, very pretty. And as you can see, I'm pretty much taking it all over the lid. All over the lid. I think this is the type of eyeshadow that definitely needs that. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into the 201, just over the edges, like I always do when I apply any type of shimmer. There we go, okay. Yeah, you can see the shift. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna do my rest of my face and we'll come back and do the lower lash lines. So I'm back and I have the rest of my face on. I used the Natasha Denona Tan Bronzer. I used the Beauty Bakery Cotton Candy Champagne palette, the Sip Sip Hooray Blush, and then the new Pat McGrath Champagne Gold Highlight. And then on my lips, I have Ami by Pat McGrath. No, that's not Ami. This is She's Heaven. And I use the Celine Lip Gloss by Lunar Beauty. So I'm really loving this look so far. So let's go ahead and finish it off. So this is the BK Beauty 203 brush. We're gonna dip into the shade ASAP, which is that deep brown. And I just want to connect that to my upper lash line and just kind of lightly bring that around. I do wish there was a few more deepening shades in this palette because I feel like with this shade Fake, it needs something else. I'm going to apply the Wander Beauty Mile High Club mascara to my lower lash line. And I did apply some of the Sigma Black eyeliner to my waterline, but I didn't apply it all the way in. So let's go ahead and do something with the inner corner. So I think what I want to do today is I want to go into the white shade, which is Fame, right there, and apply just a little bit on the inner corner and then drag it down to the front part of my tear duct. So far, I really like this palette, so I'm gonna go and we'll film with it again tomorrow. We're back and we're gonna film with the Wahala 2 again today. Okay, so we're back and we're gonna film with the Wahala 2 again today. I've already primed my eyes and got my eye tape ready. And the little shininess you see on my face are pimple patches because I'm having a little bit of a breakout. It's that time of the month. I'm sure you needed to know that information, but you now do. So I'm gonna go in first to the shade Wicked, which is like a good true cornflower blue. Picks up nice on the brush, and this is a BK Beauty 201. And I prime my eyelids just like I always do with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas in the shade Fair. So we're just blending out that shade. Hold on. So sorry about the jump cut. My father-in-law called me, so I had to answer. You know, running a business and all that. Trying to do everything during the day. That color's really pretty and it's blending out nicely. Blues are not always my favorite on my skin tone, but that doesn't look so bad. I think it's applying well, which is always important. So, did y'all see that Refer is releasing some more brushes? My husband already ordered them for me. My husband is the best, y'all. The absolute best. Okay. So, no weird patchiness. Looking at it closely, as you can see, it blended out nicely. Not dragging, not catching. So we like that. So now what we're gonna go into is we're gonna deepen that up with the shade Fury. So as you can see, that shade is just a little bit deeper and a little bit bluer, which I'm gonna keep this more on the outer half of the eye. And I'm not bringing it up too high. I just want to bring some depth more towards the outside. And y'all know, it doesn't matter what color I'm working with. I pretty much do the same process every single time. It's just what works for me in my eye shape. You know, I'm experimental when it comes to color, but I'm not experimental when it comes to shape. You know, when I have stepped outside my comfort zone, it's never looked right. So I'm switching over to a BK Beauty 202, which is still a fluffy blending brush, but it has more of a point to it. So it really helps to get into the crease. Great. Which is what I want. So as you can see, I'm working it really into that crease. And y'all will have to tell me what you think of this style and format of video, if you like it better than just doing one look to start with a palette to kind of review it, because I get so many eyeshadow palettes, it's hard to do these types of videos. It's not that palettes don't get reused, it's just, you know, for me it's a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to take that same 202 and we're going to go into Dream, which is definitely a more of a true royal almost. Oh, that's pretty. Just to add, see how much more depth that adds. And we're really keeping that on the outer corner. Not bringing it in as far as we did with Fury. Just working it in, because that's typically where I want the most depth. Now I'm going to take that 201 brush and just go over the outside edge to make sure everything is nice and blended. Okay. So, I'm trying to decide. Okay, so we're gonna use some glitter. We definitely want to use some glitter. I haven't used any glitter out of this palette yet. So, Too Faced glitter glue. You know, if you've been watching me, this is something I always do. This is the ColourPop E3 brush, it is a flat shader brush. So what I think I'm going to do first though is I want to go into the shade Bold, which is more of that deep shimmer, just to apply a little bit towards the outside edge. So it's still got some shine to it on the lid, but I'm not bringing the glitter that far out. Not that I mind bringing the glitter that far out, but I think it blends a little bit better with the outside edge. Okay, so I'm going to dust that off, and then I'm going to go into the shade Goals, which is the thicker pressed glitter. Oh yeah. As you can see, that's a chunky glitter, which I don't mind. And I'm just going to keep kind of pressing it all over the center of my lid. I like that glitter. Now remember, the glitters are not considered eye safe. So if you use the glitters, remember you're using them at your own peril if you go blind. But I don't mind. Glitters always are one of the things that draw me in on palettes. I don't know how y'all are, but, well, I love glitter anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna dust that off, and then I wanna go into the shade Gobi, which is that silver that is the same kind of chunky glitter as Goals. But I just wanna take Gobi and apply it to the very front of my eyelid. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. That applies really well too. I do really like Juvia's Place's pressed glitters, but I never use glitters without a glitter glue. As some people will, I won't even attempt it, because even though I can be a little bit reckless with using pressed glitters on my eyes, I'm not gonna be that reckless. So that is the top of the look done. I think it looks phenomenal. I'm gonna go off camera, do the rest of my face, and then we'll come back and do the lower lash lines, and I will give my thought on this palette. So I'm back with the rest of my face on. For bronzer, blush, and highlight, I used the Cheek Stars Reunion Tour from Benefit. I used the Hoola bronzer, and then I just kind of mixed all 3 shades of blush, and then I used the Cookie highlight. On my lips, I used the Berry Lip Balm with no lip liner from Juvia's Place, and then I also tight lined with the Showdown ColourPop BFF Cream Gel Eyeliner. I am wearing lashes. The ones that I am wearing, I do not love, but you know, I was trying something new, and I don't like the way that these look on me. And I don't, because I don't know if you can tell, they have a really thick band, and they're not the angular shape that I typically like either. So I'm gonna dust off my brush. This is the ColourPop, not the ColourPop, the BK Beauty 205. I love using these, and I'm gonna go into the shade Dream ever so slightly and hit the outside corner of my eye, which that is that deep blue shade. And then I'm gonna take just a clean brush. This is the 201 in a clean brush, and just kind of go over and lightly blend that out. I'm not gonna go full on Uncle Fester today like I typically do. I know, it's a shock, isn't it? So next I'm going to go into the shade Ambitious, which is a silver shimmer. We're gonna spray it, and we're gonna use that, and this is the BK Beauty 207 brush. I do love to use this as an inner corner highlighting brush. Such a good brush. And just apply a generous amount, because I want it to have that alien look almost. And then I'm gonna take just ever so slight amount on right under the brow bone. Okay, perfect. So I'm really liking how this eye look came together, and I'm loving the palette. Okay, so do I recommend the Wahala 2 by Juvia's Place? I certainly do. I would pay $38 just for the shade Fake. Look at that. Because I paid $125 pretty much just for the same identical shade in the Pat McGrath palette. That shade right there is worth the entire price of the palette, at least in my eyes. But you get 30 shades that you can do a whole lot with as well. I mean, you can do a very neutral look. You can do more of a pink look. You can do blue. You can do turquoise. You can even do more of a gray tone look. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for. But for $38, you can't pass it up. And like for me, I use the code Angelica, which is Angelica Nyquist code, and so I saved 10% off of it, so it made it like $35. And they have it on sale at Ulta right now, and they always have sales where you can use like save $5 or whatever, so you can get this thing even cheaper. So I would definitely recommend the Wahala 2. So let me know what you think down below, what your favorite color is out of this palette. I just want to keep touching that shade. Love that shade. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know if you prefer me doing multiple looks. It does take a little longer to get a video up, so let me know. But I guess that's it, so we'll see y'all later. Bye.